Hey, it's Jeff Sauer here representing ppccourse.com, and I wanted to put to bed an age-old debate about search marketing. And that debate is whether or not you should bid on your branded keyword terms in Google AdWords, Bing, or any other search platform. Now, there's really two arguments behind whether or not you should bid on your brand keywords. One of them is no, you should never pay more money than you have to. You should never pay for your brand. The other one is maybe we should. Maybe there's going to be some incrementality to what we do. Maybe we're going to get incremental results. Now, both of these arguments are pretty valid in the sense that they're well thought out by the people who make them, but one of them is based on facts, the other one's based on sentiment. And so I'm going to tell you which one I think is the right one to go with, and I'm going to give you a lot of insights into my history with branded keywords and how I've settled this debate thousands of times with other marketers, with my clients, and with people that I've taught within PPC course. So if you want to settle this debate forever as to whether or not you should bid on your brand keywords, you're going to want to listen up, because I settle this debate with a data-driven argument. So the question is, should you bid on brand keywords in Google AdWords or any advertising platform for that matter? And we are specifically talking about bidding on brand keywords in Google AdWords. Should you bid on brand keywords? Now, I've been in this business for a long time. I've worked with hundreds of clients, taught 5,000 plus people about Google AdWords and how all this stuff works. And this question comes up all the time. It might be the most frequent question that I've been asked by clients and by people I've been advising when it comes to paid search. And that is, should you bid on branded keywords? Should you pay for your brand name in search advertising? And there's a pretty diametrically opposed group of people that are out there. I'd say about 3/4 of people that I talk to are like, of course I should bid on my brand keywords. Why wouldn't I? And there's a quarter or 25% of the people, and then there's about 25% of people who are like, no freaking way. I'm never going to bid on a keyword. I'm never going to give up that money. I'm never going to pay Google for the satisfaction of making me pay for the brand name that I've spent so much time building. And you can probably see the reasoning behind both of these arguments, but I'm going to tell you that one of these arguments is wrong and one of them is right. And the reason why we're doing this video now is because Shelly from PPC Course, she wanted to know about branded keywords. She's working with clients and they want to know whether or not they should bid on their brand name. Now, this is a question that comes up all the time, a question that I've asked myself. And for a long time, I took it on a case-by-case basis. But now I'm starting to develop a more hardline approach as to why this should happen. And that's what this video is all about, is talking to you about why I think you should choose one or the other. And so let's field two arguments for brand keywords and the arguments that people make about yes or no as to why you should do them. Let's start with the no brand argument. No, you should never bid on your brand keyword. Now, the reason why this argument makes sense and why it sounds good in the case against brand keywords is people like to say to themselves, why spend money when you already rank in organic search? If I've already spent the time to build my brand, I've already put money into TV and all the other advertising that I do, I have a strong brand, why would I ever spend money to bring people to my website when I already rank in search, when I'm already number one for my brand name? And that's a compelling argument, right? You've already spent all this time, all this effort in doing something. Why spend more? Why give Google the satisfaction of having to pay a tax to do something that you've already built up? I can totally understand that sentiment. Not saying that it's right, but I can totally understand it. Google already has enough of our money. Yes, if you're doing paid search advertising, Google probably already has a lot of your money, and they're looking for more of it, and they're trying to get more by making you pay for your own brand name. Another argument, we own the brand, not Google. It's not Google who owns this, we do. We are the ones who own this brand. And finally, the people are just going to click on us anyway. We don't care whether they do it through organic search or if they click through 20 times in order to find us. They're going to find us, and we don't need to pay Google any money because they're going to find us anyway. Now, you notice a lot of these things are not really based on data. They're not really based on anything other than opinion. And they're really strong opinions because when it comes to money, people don't want to pay more money than they have to. And I get that. I don't want to pay more money than I have to either. And so I can buy that argument, but I also want to make sure that we understand the other side. Now, let's hear the yes brand argument. And that's simple. Don't speculate. Just do what the data tells us. What does the data say? Should we do this or not? Now, here's a picture that's worth 1,000 words. And this shows the click-through rate based on the position somebody shows up in, based on whether it's a short term, which we call a head term of keyword, maybe 1, 2, 3, 4 words in the keyword, and then long tail terms, which are things that have more than 4 words in the keyword. As you can see here, long tail keywords get about a 30+% click-through rate, and it's a little bit less than 20% for a head key term. Now, I would say somebody's brand name is almost always going to be a head term, and so you're looking at less than 20% click-through rate on those types of terms. And even if you're generous and you say, okay, well, we're doing twice that much because it is the brand name, then maybe 40% of people click on that at most. And you know what that means? If you do the math, if you do the inverse math, that means that 70-80% of the time, somebody does not click on your branded keyword. There's a lot of lost clicks if you don't pay attention to this. And if you only rely on organic search, then you're missing out. No matter how good you are, no matter how great your brand is, how much you advertise on TV, how much people know who you are and your brand awareness and all those different things, you're still losing clicks if you don't have a paid ad up there. And the truth is that paid search clicks are probably incremental when you look at it from that lens. Just looking at that chart, if you believe those charts, you're going to find that paid search clicks must be incremental. And they give you twice as much real estate. So I'm going to show you a search page that I just put up there for DJI, which is the company that makes these awesome drones. I'm not sure if you've ever had a drone, but I actually own a DJI drone. And this is something where if I type in DJI, I get a paid ad at top, I get the company profile on the right, and I get some stories about them. As you can see, probably understand the news that they had on the day that I recorded this. And if you want to see the organic search results, you need to start doing some scrolling. So if you scroll down past the news results, then past their Twitter account, then you get to the first organic search result. It's way below the fold. Like if there's even a concept of a fold here, it's like 3 whole scrolls beyond the fold. It doesn't even show up. You have to go way down in order to find this thing. And so who's going to have the patience to not click on the top news stories talking about this company when they're typing the brand name? Of course they want to know the newest thing. And usually company websites are not updated very frequently. Of course they're going to want to see what they're putting on Twitter because that's way more up to date than the company information. So they're probably going to lose a lot of organic search clicks because of all these other things that are going on. And yes, they might still eventually end on the home page on the website, but wouldn't you want to control that? So you need to pay a tax to Google in order to get somebody to go to your site. You need to pay a tax to show up on top with your brand term. And that's something that DJI and a lot of other advertisers have found to be worthwhile, paying that tax to Google for their brand name. And my question to you is, are people patient enough to find the top organic result? I really don't think that they are. Now, what does Google's research say? In 2011, Google put out a study that said that incremental clicks impact search advertising. And basically what they're saying is that if you show up for both organic and paid in results, then you're going to find 89% more click-throughs happening if you show up in both than if you just did organic search alone. Now, this is a number that I've been citing for years because it's a great study and it really does support everything that I've been talking about, everything that I have learned over the years, everything I've seen in my accounts and my results and everything. And I think it supports everything that we're talking about here. But it does seem a little bit out of date now that we think about it, that it's 2011. So Google released another study in 2012, which I guess is still a while ago, but this is the best we have. I've been trying to find more updated results. I don't see them here because I think this research sort of put to bed the idea that you shouldn't pay for brand keywords, frankly. And they're basically saying that if you're already in organic, they show the 2011 study up on the top, and then they did another one. They did a follow-up analysis to see with 390 respondents what was happening. And on this one, they show how many times the ad impression accompanied an organic result. And obviously, I think this has changed since then significantly. I think we're going to see more paid results on organic listings, and we're going to see a lot more paid ads on brand names. But you can see here's the results here. And then if you go deeper into here, basically they're saying that if somebody was the number one position in organic, which is sort of a fleeting thing. I don't even know if that exists anymore, number one position in organic, with all the other features of search engine result pages, then there's a 50% chance that that click is going to be incremental. So that's pretty good. Even if you're number one, 50% incremental. And I think that number would go up if you were to rerun this study in 2018. If your positions 2 through 4, there's an 82% increase. And then if you're in position 5 or higher, 90% incremental search. So this very much supports the study that was there before. It just gives a little bit more data as to where somebody's located and why that might happen. And like I said, since the time of this study, organic search used to be a lot higher up. There was not nearly as many features in SERPs, in search engines results pages, and now it pushes it way down. So if you want to roll the dice and think that your brand is strong enough to get people to scroll and to ignore the news about you and all the other things that are going on, then good luck, because the chances of somebody going all the way down there and getting to your site and going and doing and capturing what you want them to do on your brand name is probably not that great. The other thing here is that you don't get to choose the landing page. So basically, they have to go to your home page, whereas with a paid ad, you get to choose where you send them to. You can send them to a unique experience, and you can use that as a way to capture new opportunities. Now, what's my experience with this thing? First of all, brand terms have high CTR, quality score, and other metrics. So the more you have brand terms, the more your click-through rate's going to go up, your quality score is going to go up, and that can have impacts on your entire account. There's this thing called an account quality score within Google AdWords. If you can have great click-through rates and quality scores in one spot, it's probably going to increase your account quality score as well. Google's going to trust you more, and they're going to give you a lot of the benefits of being an advertiser who's got great advertising metrics. So the metrics get better with brand terms, and that's a good thing for you. Brand clicks are dirt cheap. They're so much cheaper than the non-brand clicks. They really are. Brand conversions, they're inexpensive. So the clicks are cheap, click-through rate's high, quality score's high, and people convert because they're looking for you. They want to talk to you. And you get to choose a landing page. Remember that. You get to choose where you put them, and so your conversions are going to be much higher than if they go to your homepage and then try to figure out what you're trying to do with them, what they're trying to get done. And they make your entire account look better. Now, if you're working with an agency, I'd be wary of that. If they're only bidding on your brand terms and they're taking credit for it, then you could be concerned about that. But for the most part, why wouldn't you want better performance? Why wouldn't you want better metrics? Why wouldn't you want everything to be better? If you have a limited budget with Google AdWords, you want to make that budget give you the most bang for your buck. And yes, brand terms are going to give you bang for your buck. It might be a crutch that prevents you from developing a really solid overall campaign, but I'd rather have a crutch to prop me up than to have poor results to keep me down. That's what it comes down to. I'd much rather have a crutch keep me up than to have poor results just beat me down to the point where I can't even stand up anymore. So yes, 100% of the time, I think you should bid on your brand keywords. Or maybe 99.99%, because nobody's ever certain about everything, but I would say 100% of the time, if you're advertising on AdWords, you should bid on your own brand keywords. Now, there are very few cases when this won't work for your benefit. And even if it wasn't working for your benefit, it would probably be temporary, or it would be the sign of a much bigger problem within your business, within your brand. So I recommend that you trust the data and don't get hung up on the principle of the matter. Yes, it sucks that you have to pay Google for your brand when you paid everybody else to build your brand, when you put so much time into it, so much effort into it, when it's yours, when your brand is something that you own. You own the trademark, you own the copyright, you own all these things. But guess what? Google owns Google, and they're going to be taking their tax every time they can. And this is probably one of the easiest taxes to pay. And actually, it's going to have a huge return for you because it's going to get you incremental results. And incremental results are pretty awesome. So that's it. That's my opinion on brand keywords. And it's based on data, based on experience. And it's something that you should definitely consider implementing and bidding on within your own account. So did you like this PPC tip? I'd encourage you to subscribe to our PPC newsletter at www.ppccourse.com. When you sign up for that newsletter, you're going to get all kinds of insights into how to become a better pay-per-click marketer, and you're going to learn all kinds of cool stuff and stay up to date with what's happening in Google AdWords and hear things like this, my experience as a pay-per-click manager, what I've learned over the years, how I've handled certain arguments, how I've made my clients a lot of money, and how I've helped a lot of people become Google AdWords certified. So if you're interested in learning more about getting certified yourself, I would recommend that you check out www.ppccourse.com. And I'll come at you next week with another great PPC tip. So stay tuned for that, and I appreciate you listening and hearing me talk about one of my favorite subjects, branded keywords in Google AdWords.